Hey everyone, it's Erin with Hail Varsity. I am joined by Greg, recruiting extraordinaire, also of Hail Varsity, and we are back for another recruiting question of the week. I'm going to just say, Greg, before I ask you how you are, we have both just completely botched the intro to this multiple times. Greg just hung up he just left the Zoom call. I don't even know if you're not hanging up a true call. And then I could not introduce it to save my life. But here we are. Greg, it's Monday. How are you?
It is Monday. That is definitely one way to describe it. I am well. Had a busy, hectic weekend, but I am well. I apologize for hanging up on you in the Zoom call.
It's fine. It's fine. I will get over it eventually. But, let's go ahead and just dive into the question itself. So this question was on YouTube and it has a little bit of so when the question was asked, it was prior. So I'm going to ask the question and then I'm going to add that there's a little bit of a caveat there. So this person would like, Greg, your thoughts on Nebraska breaking into the top 25 in recruiting, yet only being 7th in the Big Ten. So really quick, like we were talking about before we started recording is Nebraska is just on the outside of the top 25. So this question, when it was asked, things are obviously very fluid in recruiting. So if you're listening and you're like, Nebraska's not there right now. The question was asked when it was in a different space. Again, ebbs and flows with recruiting. But this person basically wants to know the fine line to walk when you don't know what awaits the portal. Again, Nebraska is just outside of the top 25. 7th in the Big Ten. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's funny you're right. When that question was asked, they had just cracked the top 25, and who knows, when someone is watching this, they could have had another commitment, and they could now be back in the top 25. You just never know. It changes that quickly. Nebraska also in that time between the time that the question is asked and now, which has just been a couple of days, went from 7th to 8th in Big Ten rankings as well. And I would say that keep in mind that the recruiting ranking is just a snapshot of where we are in time, right? That's the first and foremost thing. I say this often, we're not anywhere near time to panic when it comes to the recruiting ranking right now.
No panic yet.
Like no panic yet. And actually for a good number of reasons. First and foremost, Nebraska only has 8 commitments right now, compared to some of the schools that are around them, particularly in the Big Ten. I think right now, I know, I looked it up. Northwestern is 2nd in the Big Ten right now in recruiting rankings for the 2023 class. I'll say it again, it's Northwestern. They are 2nd because they have 18 commitments right now. So Northwestern, I will go out on a limb and say that they will not have the best class in the Big Ten West, and they won't have the 2nd best class in the Big Ten ahead of Ohio State. Like, I don't think that that's going to end up happening. So I use that to say, not a diss at Northwestern, but just to say that these things are snapshots in time. The other reason that I think that Nebraska is sitting in a pretty good position is there's a number of prospects that have been through campus already this June for official visits that Nebraska is still in a good position with, that are either 4-stars or high 3-star recruits. You have guys like Malachi Coleman, Amarian Miller, Bo Hughley, Zaylen's Hurd, like guys like that are high 4-star guys. Not to mention the 3-star players that could also end up either seeing bumps later on or just solid 3-star prospects. Maverick Noonan, Phil Picciotti, J.R. Garcia. There's a lot of different guys that Nebraska is in on that can continue to bump their ranking up. So again, not time to panic, but it is kind of interesting that there's 8th in the Big Ten right now, but I expect that to change quite a bit.
Yeah, rankings are really an interesting thing because everyone feels very differently. I feel like it's a very polarizing topic because some people think rankings don't matter. Some people think they matter significantly. And it's really interesting, especially right now where we're at, because I think, depending on how you feel about rankings, whether you like them or not, you think they're valuable or not, whatever the case is, it's going to be a really interesting fall for Nebraska because we've talked about this quite a few times in these videos and in other videos, that it is no surprise to anyone that Scott Frost and his coaching staff are playing for it all this fall. Like there's not a lot of room for error. And so like a lot of players are going to be, a lot of prospects could be sitting back and watching, observing, seeing how things go. So they, you could see Nebraska go one way or the other in recruiting rankings very quickly depending on how this season goes, because you might see a huge influx of kids recruiting, committing. You could also see an influx of decommitments.
Right.
That's the really interesting thing about recruiting rankings, because they kind of are a really like temporary snapshot, in my opinion. Like until you get to the end and you see what it is, like all of this right now is very much just a snapshot at this moment in time. Like Greg said, are they going to be first or second in the Big Ten West? Probably not. But what does it actually look like when you get to next February? It could look a number of different ways.
Yes, it could. And, to your point about guys waiting, like, listen, Malachi Coleman has essentially said that, right? He's basically said that I've taken my official visit to Nebraska. I really, really liked it. I've got a couple other ones filled, or a couple other ones that are coming, but I need to see how Nebraska is going to do. Like, and that's basically the highest rated guy that Nebraska is probably is really in on, or is a Nebraska lean at this point. And if he's waiting, then what do you think that guys that are from outside of the region are thinking right now, that are trying to evaluate this program? And so that's natural and normal for that to happen. And I do think that Nebraska does have the opportunity, like I said, to continue to push up these rankings. But really what matters most is what ends up happening in December. But I think you are correct that we're going to see a wild fall when it comes to this, because we could see a big domino effect, especially if Nebraska starts off very well, because really that's just reinforcing to these prospects, hey, what the coaching staff told me all summer long is really true about them going in the right direction. I really liked it when I went up there. I got that family feeling. They showed me that they really wanted me. Okay, I'll go ahead and pull the trigger and commit.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot to watch. And so I'm not surprised that this is a kind of question / just wanting to get your thoughts on. I'm not surprised by it. I think we're going to hear a lot about kind of where Nebraska is situated for a while. And the best way I can say it is buckle up and settle in, as we keep saying, because it's going to be interesting throughout. We'll see how it goes. But Greg, I do appreciate you always, chiming in with your expertise. If everyone wants to hear more from Greg on this particular topic, you can head to hailvarsity.com, the recruiting notebook this evening, 6 p.m. Central. Greg will have more. He'll do a deeper dive. I can't talk anymore. This Monday is just proving to be too much for me. But you can also check out the recruiting notebook Sunday through Thursday, 6 p.m. Central, where a lot of these topics come up. Some of your questions that you ask here on YouTube or on Twitter do come up in the recruiting notebook on other nights. So be sure to check it out. Again, Sunday through Thursday, 6 p.m. Central. You can always ask questions, keep the conversation going here on YouTube in the comment section, or you can tweet at Greg, at Greg Smith HV, at Hail Varsity. And we will be back next week with another recruiting question of the week. But until then, Greg, thank you as always. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. You guys have a good week.
Yeah, hopefully y'all have a better week and Monday than the two of us are having. We both need to go reset, get our head in the game.
Yes.
We'll talk to y'all later. Thank you as always.